I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued with what the Braves will have going this season. I like the young core that they have to go along with the prospects that haven't come up yet. This team might be the Athletics of last year or the Cubs of 2014, and if I'm being frank, they have a better chance of being a surprise team than the damn Mets. The lineup is probably the best part about this team. They have Ender Inciarte and Ozzy Albies and Freddie Freeman. There's also Dansby Swanson and Tyler Flowers. And so, this lineup, they also acquired Preston Tucker from Houston. We'll see how well he does in SunTrust Park. But this lineup is really solid and it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good in its own right as well. And the fact that they play in the NL East is excellent for that fact. And so I'm going to be giving them a grade of a B for their lineup. And when it comes to their depth, they do have a pretty solid share of depth with Kurt Suzuki and Lane Adams, Ezekiel Carrera, and Danny Santana in the majors. And then in the minors, they have Chris Stewart and Rob Brantley and Ryan Schimpf, a guy that they picked up from Tampa Bay. I think he'll be pretty good depth if somebody gets injured and needs to be called up. And then there's also Ronald Acuna, their top prospect that could come up this year and be in the outfield. He will probably replace maybe Nick Markakis probably Nick Markakis if they can find a way to trade him. Maybe even Preston Tucker. We'll see, but Ronald Acuna is projected to come up this year. And then they have Jeff Decker, a guy whom they got from Oakland. So their depth is decent, pretty decent. It's actually pretty solid. So I'm giving their depth a B-. I'm giving it a B- because I like what they have for guys that get injured, and I like what they will have to accommodate for those guys. When it comes to the rotation, also Johan Camargo is a guy that is injured, an infielder that's injured and questionable for opening day. Another pretty good depth guy that they can add to that mix. And now when it comes to the rotation, it's pretty solid in its own rights. Julio Teheran, Brandon McCarthy, Mike Foltynewicz, and Sean Newcomb. Now, Julio Teheran and Brandon McCarthy are going to have to do well in that rotation. Luis Gohara, if he comes back, or when he comes back from injury, mind you, he's projected to come up this year, early 2018. I'm not sure how well he'll do in SunTrust Park, but there are also a couple of other guys like Max Fried and Mike Soroka and Colby Allard, guys that could come up this year and pitch. So that could be a plus for the Braves also. And so I like what they have going for the rotation, and I'm going to give them a grade of a B-. It's really solid. And now when it comes to the bullpen, they have not that much. There's Arodys Vizcaino and Peter Moylan, and they also got Scott Kazmir, but he's not what he was with the A's for those couple of seasons, and even that part of the season with the Dodgers. So, Scott Kazmir, he just really got injured, and he just hasn't been the same sort of pitcher, so we'll see how well he does. But there are only a couple of pieces in this bullpen. It's not that good, really. It's really not that good, which is ultimately why I am struggling to put this team higher in my rankings of what I think each team will do this season. And so I'm giving their bullpen a grade of a C. They also have Grant Dayton injured, and he has Tommy John surgery in August of last year, late August to be more specific. And so, roster it's a pretty solid, pretty mediocre roster, but that you'll take that if you're the Braves. You were 72-90 last year. You'll take mediocrity this year. Well done, Braves. Well done. You've managed to form an excellent young team with a rock-solid hitting core and a solid rotation. This team plays in a weak division and continued to make nice moves, other than breaking international signing rules. The problem? Their bullpen isn't completely strong, and the core isn't great enough to push them past mediocrity. Yet. That being said, they will improve by 10 wins this year since they face a relatively easy schedule, other than facing the AL East. The over-under for Fangraphs is one that I think is actually a little bit too... It's too underrating. It's underrating the Braves too much at 72-90. My final prediction is 82-80, and second in the NL East, and we're almost done with the NL East now. But let me know if you agree. Let me know why I'm a hype beast for overrating this young core. It is a predictions video, and that's what it is all about. So let me know, and if you have rationale, I'll listen. If not, then I won't. But otherwise, that'll do it for this Braves edition. I'm saying so long.